The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Hi everybody, I'm Mark Mausner of the Eagles Sports Network, and alongside me is Carson-Newman swim head coach Jordan Taylor. And Coach, we had not one but two swimmers win weekly awards out of the Bluegrass Mountain Conference. We'll start with Caleb Howell, who was awarded the Male Swimmer of the Week award, and for him a dominant performance at the King Invitational. What did you see out of him over at King?
Caleb had a great weekend. He was entered in 7 events, his 4 individual races being some of the more challenging events, but he managed to come away with 4 individual victories in those performances. At the Invitational, the depth maybe wasn't as strong as we've seen at other meets, but there were still some good quality men and women at the higher end of the field, and so Caleb was pushed in his events. He had to step up and produce some of his fastest kind of early season, in-season type times, but to be able to do that over multiple races over the weekend was great. I felt that he executed his races well, and we've got now a good solid standpoint to kind of progress on as we move towards some more challenging competitions. And then he was also part of 3 successful relays, and with Caleb being a very versatile athlete, we saw him in things from like the sprint relays doing the backstroke to the 800 freestyle relay, doing the 200 freestyle there. He had the 400 IM, he had the 200 IM, the 200 breaststroke, 100 breaststroke. So he was kind of in a bit of everything over the weekend, but was very dominant in his performances. His times were very good, along with taking the wins. So for me, it's a well-deserved Swimmer of the Week award. He's been nominated several times over his swimming career after great meets, especially at dual meets and so on, but has always been kind of narrowly knocked out by other athletes that have gone on to maybe win some events in their dual meets but have slightly stronger times. But it's a well-deserved award for him, and to start the season off well with great performances, but also getting some recognition within the conference. Just good for our program, but also for him as he starts his senior year.
And Caleb was not the only one who received a weekly award. Senior Mary Northcutt received the Female Swimmer of the Award a week in the Bluegrass Mountain Conference. Also, similar to Caleb, a successful trip to Bristol, Tennessee at the King Invitational for her. What did you see out of her award-winning performance?
Again, from Mary, it was a lot of good swims. She had 2 individual wins. She was part of 4 successful relays. She's been one of our staple athletes over the last 3 years now, starting her 4th year on our women's relays. She's been All-American as part of our relays multiple times. She always steps up for the team. She's someone we can trust when we put her in at the end of the relay. It's head to head, it's close. She's always going to find that little bit extra to get her hand on the wall. This weekend we put her a little bit earlier in some of the relays to kind of make sure she was forced to go strong. A couple of times when she was on the back end, we had a pretty demanding lead at that point, and she could kind of relax into it and focus more on the details within her race. But like I said, has been a trusty part of our women's relays over the last few years and continues to do that now. She commented a few times over the weekend that on the relays there was 3 freshmen and her, and she was the old one. She was the one that was kind of leading the way and kind of leading those girls, making sure they were confident in going in to execute a good relay. And so all of her experience from relays at conference and nationals over the last few years, now she's going to have the opportunity to hand that down, and as she kind of takes over as the kind of leader for those relays. And again, even with the women's relay times, we were very close to some of the times we've done last year at our mid-season invite when the girls were shaved, tapered, rested and ready to go. So to do that in week 1 of our regular season, just in regular practice suits, hard week of training, is great to see, and I just want us to continue to build from there as a girls program. But for Mary, the same kind of thing. We've been looking at a lot of details for her. She's at a very high level as an individual already, so for her to make the improvements moving forward, it's small things. We can't just say, hey, let's get fitter, let's get stronger, and you'll get quicker. It's making the small adjustments with the mechanics within her stroke, with her race strategy, how many times she's breathing, distance on the starts and turns, little things like that. And so if we can hammer those things in now very early, when she does get rested for the Tennessee Invitational in a couple of months, we're expecting to see her go fast. But again, a really well achieved award, good recognition, and again, another athlete that's hard to believe it's her first time. She's been unlucky in the past that we've had some very dominant female athletes on this program that have had multiple wins at pretty much every meet we've gone to, and so even to compete within the conference has been difficult, but when you've got some of the best athletes in the country on your team, it's been hard. So she's been in the shadows of them for a couple of years, but now is her time to shine, and I'm glad she's getting recognition for that.
He's Carson-Newman swim head coach Jordan Taylor. Coach, thanks for the time.
Thanks.